Hi folks, how you doing? MFJJ here. Did you know that somebody actually makes an integrated whisker biscuit? I know there's a lot of whisker biscuit fans out there, and I just have one to show you. Come along, check it out. Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with podiumarcher.com, talking about a whisker biscuit that bolts on the back of a Matthews and a PSE and a Hoyt and a Bowtech that offers the integrate option. Nobody had made one before, and this is going to be a pretty short video because, I mean, y'all know what a whisker biscuit is, I'd imagine. Be surprised if you don't. And there's still a good amount of people that really love that style of rest. Now, it's not what I personally use, but I understand if that's a desire that you have. For simplicity in a lot of applications, and the only one that exists is made by Octagon, which is a division of Bowtech. The Octagon Pro IMS. This rest attaches to the back of the bow, and in most applications, other than I'm assuming these low pro quivers that they came out with for the V3X series, you should be able to put them on without any kind of an issue for alignment. But for today's purposes, we are going to go ahead and bolt it on. One more thing I wanted to add. We did buy, a little postal scale so we can physically weigh things to the ounce. So we should probably just go ahead and see how much this weighs too, just so you know. Ooh, they do come with these cute little color-coded end caps that you don't have to add. So that rest weighs a total of 1.7 ounces. That might be the lightest thing you could bolt on your bow. Now, if you add some colored doodads, if you want a little flair, it doesn't really change. So it's less than 1/10 of an ounce for those little caps. So not drastic or horrible. And that is with all mounting hardware. So you're not going to have a bolt or anything else like that included in it. So let's see how this lines up and how far it sticks out, because that's really the biggest concern. Most of your PSEs, your Hoyts, etc., they don't have a quiver that attaches this tight that sits in the way of the arrow rest. So we did the Hoyt stuff, and their quiver actually sits behind where your arrow rest would mount, their new low pro. So you won't have a conflicting issue here. Now I will say, that's about 13/16. That's about where you would put it. This actually does not stick out as far as the ripcord stuff, but if I go into this spot, it definitely runs hard into the arrow rest, to where you could not even put the arrow in. But let's try arrow number 3. Well, it doesn't touch. And arrow number 6 also doesn't touch. So in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arrow quiver, you could put 5 arrows in this quiver and still use this arrow rest, which is pretty shocking, because when you put this guy, this fella on there, you lose about 3 of the arrows out of the quiver to be able to even mount it if you wanted to. So that is awfully nice that it gives you that kind of clearance. So maybe this rest isn't ruled out on a V3X 33 or 29 if you want to use this quiver, as long as you're willing to sacrifice one spot. You will not even get the arrow in there, just so you know. It'll touch it before it ever gets to the gripper. So your 6 arrow quiver is going to become a 5 arrow quiver. Other than that, it is machined aluminum. Looks like it's molded around the ring that holds the rest housing on. It does have some rubber coating that snaps on the outside of it, so I imagine if you hit it with an arrow, it's relatively quiet. Might still want to put some fleece on that though. That still looks like it might make a little bit of noise. And it does have elevation and windage adjustments that are on a machined bracket, so you should not be able to break it when you go to tighten it down, which is a nice option. It's really a relatively well done arrow rest for a whisker biscuit, for all you whisker biscuit junkies. Definitely, if you're using an integrated system, I would take a really strong hard look at this, because it really kind of does everything that you would ask a whisker biscuit to possibly do if you're into whisker biscuits. So I know this is a really short video and there's nothing super exciting to talk about. I just wanted to bolt one on a bow, see how it cleared, and I'm like, well, why don't we just record that while I do it so you can see it too and get some kind of an idea of what it is. Really light. If you're looking for simplistic, like super simplistic, and you have an integrated bow, might not be a bad option. I will always recommend you to use a limb-driven fall-away, because it's the most accurate thing I could possibly put on there personally, but maybe you just want simplicity. This is pretty simple. Head on over to podiumarcher.com for all those archery needs, including this, that should be on the website by the time this video drops. I got to take some pictures of it because I couldn't find one anywhere that actually had the integrate. So we'll take some of this and put it on there for you. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Instagram. Here pretty soon we are going to do a giveaway for a set of strings, but you got to ship me your bow. We'll pay to ship it back. You just got to pay to get it to me. And we'll do a giveaway with that, but you must be subscribed to the YouTube and Podium Archer Instagram, or I can't do that. So more than anything, thanks for following along. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the feedback. Video ideas, folks. I need them in the bottom. That's hopefully what I will draw most of ours off of. Any questions that you have, feel free to message me on Instagram. I try to answer them every evening. There's days where it's just crazy and I don't get to it, but I try to get back to everybody. If I missed one or I got too far down, I'm sorry. If you don't hear back from me in a couple of weeks, feel free to message me again. I might have overlooked it or forgot it or had a question about it and I was going to come back to it and didn't. I got a lot of irons in the fire and a lot getting pulled in a lot of different directions, but I'm still trying to communicate with you. And I will try to reply to some of the comments in the YouTube. I do read them. I may not reply because I'm too busy, but I do read them. So if you put a comment down there, believe me, I do typically see it and look at it, or I try to as often as I can, because I like this community and I appreciate the feedback that I get from you guys. So keep giving it, and I'll keep trying to put out content that you want to see. Thanks for following along.